One of the fastest ways to stop enabling it is to kick her out, because then you don't have to deal with it at all.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video, and welcome back to more craziness from the Moms of Truth, otherwise known as Connections, otherwise known as 8 Passengers, otherwise known as Crazy. Now, if you've watched a few of my other videos, you'll know that I've touched upon these quite a few times because I like to have a little bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke, but also with a tinge of seriousness. The Moms of Truth duo are Ruby Frankie, formerly of 8 Passengers, and her trusty sidekick Jodie Hildebrandt. Now Jodie, if you don't know who she is, this is who she is.
But you guys aren't doing it. I think we've had 5 people from the last time I asked, which was probably a month ago. 5 out of almost 9,000. Today
we're going to be listening to some ramblings of a crazy woman and just have a little bit of a gander to see what she's been up to.
Hello and welcome to Moms of Truth with Jodie and Ruby. I'm Jodie Hildebrandt. Here's our question. I am at a loss for words of what to do right now. My daughter has gotten very ill with cardiac issues and has moved back into the house to live with our family. Okay, those are 2 different issues. My daughter has cardiac issues is one issue. And moving back in, so it sounds like she's an adult and she's just moved back in. I don't know if she asked. I don't know what happened, but this woman just placed it all together like, because she has cardiac issues, she had to move in. No, those are 2 separate issues. So keep those separate as I finish this question. So she's moved back in to live with our family. She is oftentimes angry and rude to me and my husband, and would much rather discuss her emotions with her therapist and doctors rather than with us.
And this is a very common thing. This is very normal. Very natural. It's not as bad as you are about to make it out, I'm sure, because most people would rather talk to a therapist, and in fact in many cases this is actually encouraged rather than talking to people who are close to you, who you may not want to upset. So whatever it is you're about to say, just forget it, Jodie.
Interesting. She will stay in bed all day long and I have to take care of her. Which of course I do because she's very sick. You see how this mom is like saying, well, because of this and I have to do this. And there's no truth to that. There's 2 things going on here. How do I know if she's manipulating the situation? She's manipulating the situation and you're participating in the manipulation.
Tell us just how the daughter is manipulating the situation. Tell us how she's manipulating the fact that she's got a cardiac issue and that she's very, very sick.
She is now 21 years old and has had to leave school because of these health issues. So those are 2 different statements too. She didn't have to leave school because of her cardiac issue. She chose to leave school. She didn't have to.
See, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall or somebody who just doesn't have a clue about anything in life, because when you say she chose to leave school, she didn't have to leave school, you don't know that. You don't have any further information which suggests that one way or the other. Did she have to leave school? Did she not have to leave school? Is she really that sick that she actually had to leave school and she didn't want to? Therefore, it's taken the choice away from her. I'm not sure why she finds it so difficult to understand.
School isn't something you have to go to. It's a choice.
You're right. School is a choice when you're that age. You don't have to go to it. But if she wants to go to it and she can't because of her health issues, then the choice is taken away from her, and that is the issue.
Do I stop her from talking with her therapist, who she has become very close with, until she learns to be accountable for how she treats us around the house and learns to respect and trust her as her parents?
Why would you stop her from talking to a therapist. Why would you punish her? Why would you punish your daughter by taking away the one person who she can talk to freely without judgment, and that is actually got a chance of helping? For example, this person, I pray this is a fake question, because otherwise they belong together. This person's talking to what she sees as a therapist because she has the freedom of choice. She wants to ask Jodie's opinion for whatever reason, but why would you take that away from your daughter? It doesn't make any sense. Please, Jodie, don't suggest that.
Please help me to learn how to go about this in truth. So, Mom, there are several things here. You are engaged in a very controlling dynamic with your daughter. So control means that you want your way and she wants her way. And neither one of you appear to either know what truth is or are interested in living in truth. And when I say living, I mean using your agency to choose it. So since she's not here, she's not asking this question, she doesn't want any help from me, you do. So I'm going to look at you and talk to you. So there are two very distinct issues here. And if you'll hone in on this, it will help you see really clearly what your options are to living in truth. So your daughter says she's 21 years old, so she is well into her adult years. And because of the fact that she's an adult, she is responsible for her body. She's responsible for her cardiac issues. She's responsible for that. You do not have to open your home to her just because she has cardiac issues. Now, my guess is that you're like, whoa, I've got to take care of her. She's just a child. She's just learning. And the truth is you don't. You're choosing to. So then here's the other issue. She's an angry, entitled, selfish, aggressive, young 20-year-old. You just told us that. So she's got cardiac issues and she's mean. And you're saying, how do I control the meanness? What do I do? Can I go to the therapist and leverage her? No, you can't. It's none of your business what she tells her therapist. Is she manipulative? Yes, very much so. And by the way, she was acting this way before she left school. She was doing this when she was a teenager, probably a preteen. So this isn't new to you. She didn't just leave the house this lovely, connected, thoughtful, kind young girl at 18 and come back at 21 being mean and nasty. She's been mean and nasty for a long time.
Oh, I do love it how you cast assertions about somebody else that you've never met, that you're never likely to meet, you don't have a clue about, and you just think that they are nasty. They're the nastiest person in the world. Such a nasty person. But how do you know? You literally don't have anything to go off. It's worse than what I do. I cast assertions over people based on what I see. I don't know what you're basing your opinion on.
Which tells you and tells me that she's very, very entitled. Very entitled. And you participated in teaching her to be entitled. So you've been enabling her entitlement. You've been giving her permission to be entitled. How do I know that? Because your question's loaded with enabling. Like, she comes into the house and she just sleeps all day. And apparently you let her. You let her. That's you enabling. She's angry and mean with you and your husband. And both of you don't kick her out. Both of you, you may say, stop doing that, or I don't like that, but there's no real bite to your bark. There's nothing that's getting her attention that you really mean, don't do that. I'm sorry that she's not sensitive enough to hear you say, don't do that, that hurts. She doesn't have any feeling for anyone. And so when you say, don't do that, she blows it off. Now that may be alarming to you, but that's the condition she's in. So if you're wanting to actually live in truth, which means love, you actually want to love her, it starts with loving you and loving God. So God is not okay with any of his children behaving that way. None of them. Not you, not her, not no one. And so he's inviting you to love yourself so that you stop enabling this aggression coming towards you. One of the fastest ways to stop enabling it is to kick her out, because then you don't have to deal with it at all. She can go be angry on the street corner. But my guess is because you're so enabling, you wouldn't do that. But you can do that, and I would encourage you to do that.
Oh, you just didn't, did you? You are absolutely unbelievable. You know that? You've got a 21-year-old daughter who has cardiac issues, which is heart related, in case you didn't know, Jodie. And you just kick her out. Just kick her out. Yep. Let her go on the street corner. She can take her equipment there and whatever she needs to stay alive. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, my child. Go live on the street corner. Find a tent or a cardboard box or a baby and me blanket, anything to live on. It'll be okay. Don't worry. The druggie on the corner, he'll take care of you. Don't worry. As long as I don't have to deal with you. Why, Jodie? Just why?
If she's got enough anger to bark and bite at you, she's not too sick.
Seriously, she's now going to be homeless and you're casting doubt over the health. Seriously, honestly, she's not too sick. Okay, Jodie, she's... Oh my life. Seriously, I've never come across anybody like you. You were a therapist, right? What were you struck off for?
People who are really sick with cardiac issues, they don't behave like that.
You know what? I think you're wrong. I know. I'm going to say it. I think you're wrong. People with cardiac issues or any issues, this isn't specific to cardiac, okay? I can imagine that she's feeling very vulnerable. She's feeling very upset and angry at the world. And she's probably not feeling very well. She probably takes it out on her parents. There, I said it. She probably does. She probably doesn't mean it. She probably takes it out on her parents. That's what happens when you're not feeling well, especially when you're being bothered and you're not feeling well. You're lying there and you're in pain or whatever, and somebody comes up to you and says, "Would you like anything? Do you need anything?" And you shout back at them, "No, go away. You know, I'm not well. I want to lie here. I need to lie down. I need to rest. I'm not feeling well." It's probably why she sleeps all day. Okay, I just don't think that there's... I think, Jodie, that you should really take up a different profession because you're not very good at reading between the lines.
They start humbling like, oh my gosh, I could die. Or I may not have a place to live.
So basically, you want them to bow down to your every wish and command because they should be so grateful. They should be the most gratefulest person in the world. You don't know that this parent might be a horrible person. I don't know who they are. You don't know who they are. But what we do know is that we've got a very sick person who needs some attention and needs some help and needs to be cared for, right? And you would rather have them on the streets. And what? I can't condone that.
I can't go to work. I've got to take care of my body, and they humble. This young woman doesn't seem too alarmed about her physiological issues. So when you say, how do I live in truth? I've just given you numerous examples of what you can do. Are you willing? Or are you going to tell me that that's not realistic? It is realistic. It's just that you're not willing to have the outcomes. You don't want her to have those outcomes because you don't want those outcomes.
Question for you then, Jodie. What would happen if you got an email to say, "Dear Jodie, I took your advice. Thank you very much for your advice. I took your advice. I've put my child on the streets with a serious cardiac issue." What would you say to that? Would you have any form of guilt, remorse, like feeling of, oh my God, what have I done? I'm the reason why this young person is sick and on the streets. Why would you want that on your conscience? That is really, really horrible.
So I don't know what else to tell you, because anything shy of you not kicking her out of the house is not going to help this young woman, because she doesn't feel anything. She's numb. Now, I don't know if you're paying for therapy. If you're paying for therapy, I'd say I'm not paying for therapy. I don't know what 21-year-old can afford to go to therapy.
Are you sadistic? Are you that vindictive, sadistic? What you would... I'm sorry. I'm starting to lose my sense of humor here a little bit, Jodie. Firstly, you want them to be kicked out of home. You want them to live on the street corner. You now want them, if they're not willing to do that, if that wasn't bad enough or enough trauma to put your child through, you now want them to cut them off from therapy as well. This is the one way of getting them help and getting them back to being better and getting them through whatever it is they're going through. And you actually want them cut off. No, just cut them off. Cut them off. They don't need therapy. They're fine. Obviously, they're not fine. That's why they're acting out the way they're doing. So if you cut off their one form of communication with a neutral party, how is that going to help anyone? They're actually going to be worse, if anything. So you are so spiteful. It's unbelievable. And I just know. I can't.
So that's something else you could do. But don't go into the therapist and say, she's being mean and she needs to be nice. You sound like a 2-year-old. Don't do that.
Oh, God, no, don't do that. You know, don't be sounding like a 2-year-old to your therapist. Go to this moron and sound exactly the same. So with that, I can't listen to any more of her crap because, oh my God, please never ever contact her and ask her for advice, because you could end up doing something you will regret for the rest of your life. And I personally wouldn't want it on my conscience to know that you followed her. I don't know, somehow I would feel guilty. Just don't follow anything Jodie or Ruby has to say about anything, because they know nothing. It is unbelievable. So please come back again, everybody. Please give me a thumbs up, a comment in the comments below, anything you want to comment about this below, and subscribe to the channel, because I know there's some of you that are watching that are not subscribed. Thank you to all my members. You are loved so very much. Take care and bye bye.